People always say, I'd like to change my job and do something else, but I can't. And they always give the same reason. They say, because it pays X amount of money and that covers my expenses, rent, living situation, etc. Well, if you take on that belief and you believe that and you act that out, you're never going to change your job. You'll always do it because you're always going to allow the fear of security and money to control you. Then you're not going to enjoy your money anyway. Well, the real solution is you've got to think in a different way. You can't change your predicament by thinking in the very way that's kept you stuck in it. So the way that you're thinking is keeping you in a job that you don't enjoy doing, or maybe a job that you initially did enjoy doing, but now you're falling out of love with it. You've got to change your thinking, and you can't think about the risk. Because if you keep thinking about risk, you're never going to do it. Because you're always going to say, well, what if I change jobs and I can't get the right income, I can't pay my mortgage, my rent. You're never going to do it. You've got to think and say, well, how much more amazing would my life be if I took that risk? What are the consequences of me not taking the risk in the next 5 to 10 years when I'm still in the same job, with the same people, in the same environment, on the same salary, or slightly better? Is that going to make you happy? And the real answer is, it's not going to make you happy. If you're not happy in your job now, or you haven't been happy for 2-3 years, you're not going to be any happier in the next year. You're just lying to yourself. So it's about changing now, and you got to risk it. Now, of course, it's better if you can take a calculated risk. So if you have enough savings and enough income, then you're in a position where you can't really go wrong, because you can leave the job. You've still got enough to cover your expenses, your rent for X amount of years, or pay your mortgage or buy a house. But people still use excuses. So I think money's an excuse. I think people use money and security as an excuse because they don't want to face the suffering of facing their fear. They don't want to face the fear of change. People that really want to change don't make excuses, because any excuse you make is going to stop you, whether it's money, whether it's what people think, whether it's your comfort, whether it's your living situation. You can't change without changing. People just want to change pain-free. It doesn't work like that. You have to take a risk, no reward. You've got to risk it not working out in order for it to work out. So there's two ways of thinking. We could live on that forever. I could say, well, what if I ask someone out and it doesn't work out? And then I take it upon myself to go, well, I'm not going to ask him out. I'm not going to ask him out because I'm afraid that they might say no. Well, then you're never going to get a yes then. Or if you say, what if I draw a piece of art and it doesn't come out good and people don't like it? Well, you're never going to paint a great picture. So you've got to change the thinking. And it's not easy, because human conditioning thinks in that exact way. It's a constant pattern I see, not just with clients, but just people I meet from day to day. They tell about their job and I like my job, but, and say, what's the but? Oh, well, it's stressing me out. I don't really enjoy it anymore. It's stressing me. I would like to do this. My passion's always been to do. Why don't you do your passion? Oh, but see the but. People allow a but to keep them in a job that they don't want to be in. And then people will get defensive. And when you give them advice like, yeah, but I like this bit. It's like, well, that's not really true. Okay, you might like a little bit, but you hate 80% of it and you like 20%. So you're not going to be happy. Why not do something that you love 100%? No risk, no reward. So you've got to change the thinking and you've got to take action. I know if people really committed, if they're really committed to change and going after what they wanted to do, they'll succeed. But a lot of people deep down are afraid of that, afraid of change, responsibility, success. And if it didn't work out, you're not going to die. So if you left your job and you try and pursued your dreams and it didn't work out, you're not, as long as you're not dead, you've got to keep going. But people don't think like that unless they've changed their mindset and they've got a coach or mentor, or they're open to change, or they change that conversation. It's like a parasite. It's like a demon. It's like a possession, or it's a program that people have in their heads that is stuck in their head and they can't get out. And the program will say, well, what, you can't change. You can't change. What are you going to do? This provides safety. This provides security. This pays your rent. This pays your taxes. But you'll be stuck forever like that. Think about it. Forever like that. Are you going to be happy? No. Whereas taking the risk, maybe it won't work out. There'll be a lesson from that. There'll be a blessing from that. Then you can figure out. It's not like you leave your job, you start a business, it don't work out, and you're dead, you're over. It doesn't work like that. If you leave your job and you start a business, it don't work out, you start another business. Or you look at what's not working, you get a mentor, you get some help until you get it right. But a lot of people are not willing to, the ego comes in, pride, being proud, being afraid, caring what people think, being scared of going through the toughness, the emotions. See, the thinking's all wrong. Or let's just say the thinking's very, very limited, and it's the stinking thinking that's limited that keeps you in a job that you're just about satisfied with. You're happy that it pays the mortgage and it pays the rent. I understand that, and it puts food on the table, but it's making you have mental health problems. It's making you miserable. It's making you have low self-esteem. Because if you're going to spend 8 or 10 hours every day in a job that you don't enjoy, every single day you're pissing away 10 hours where you could be doing something that you love. I'd personally rather do something that I love for no money or lower paid money than do something that I hate and it pays really well. Because what do you value? Do you value just making money over your own happiness? That's for you to answer, and that's for you to figure out, all right? Fearless.